Sam. I'm so excited that everyone's here. This is just incredible. I am going to share my experience in the Congo with you and a project that I've initiated to increase female literacy in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. So it's called the Mama Project, this initiative that I've started. I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm just so excited. You can see on the pictures, there's like little displays on the back and on the front, and these are pictures from the pilot literacy course I did in 2011. So I'm just going to start. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you so much for the Center for African Education for hosting this. Friends and colleagues who spread the word about the presentation. Wine donations. We have some really great wine donations from my dear friend and colleague Vishal Marwah, who is in India, setting up a network of 30 low-cost healthcare clinics. So he couldn't be here tonight, but he sent 2 bottles of wine. So my sister Catherine, who did the logo, the web development team, we're launching a website in April. Kaka Ezra, brother Ezra, coordinator of a Congolese NGO. Joelle from Save the Children. Mama Chance, la coordinatrice de l'UVDES à Kichanga. She is the coordinator of the Congolese NGO living in the town that we're going to talk about. The mayor de Kichanga, the mayor. UNESCO, IIE, UNICEF, and FLAS. I did some presentations with them, and they gave me some really valuable feedback before a couple of the trips I did to the Congo. So, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm from Boston. I just graduated from Teachers College with my master's in International Educational Development. And for the past year and a half, I've been developing a project to bring applicable literacy and vocational skills education to the most vulnerable in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, in a small rural town called Kichanga. I hope to get your feedback about the project and hopefully your support and your involvement. So, I'm going to tell you about the inspiration for this project, tell you about the context in Kichanga, this town that we're talking about. I'm going to tell you about the pilot literacy program that I did in 2011, the project proposal for this organization, and the next steps. So, the inspiration. If you care about poverty, you must understand it, not just oppose it. And understanding poverty comes from spending time observing it directly. And that's from Half the Sky by Christophe Mouton. So, I was really inspired by this quote. I am convinced that experiential learning is the best way to understand issues of socioeconomic development. So in 2010, I conducted field research for my master's thesis in the Congo. I applied for a fellowship to learn Swahili, got the fellowship, and using my living stipend to purchase a flight instead of live on, I went to the Congo. I said, "Hey, Swahili professor, where are you from?" He said, "From the Congo." It's like, "Sweet, can I go visit your family?" I said, "Sure." Okay. So for a month, I went in 2010 by myself, visiting his family, asking questions to nomadic women, hospital workers, domestic servants, leaders of the household, girls selling peanuts on the streets. What are your issues? What are your problems? And what do you think the solutions are? Because I don't know. I'm not Congolese. I don't know. So I asked them, the experts, what they thought the solutions are. And they all said education. They all said, "We don't want your doctors. We don't want your stuff. We want you to teach us how to be doctors. We want you to teach us how to grow better crops so that we can raise ourselves out of poverty." I said, "Okay." So I wrote my thesis in 2011 as a proposal to build a community center for literacy for women. So after this month of research, I kind of came back and thought about it. So I proposed this in my thesis. And I presented it to the mayor of Kichanga, the town that I was in, and he said, "Sure, sweet." And he said, "Okay." So I applied for the fellowship again, and I got the Swahili fellowship again in 2011. Learned Swahili with the same professor. And I returned to the Congo to pilot a literacy course to see if my ideas would actually pan out, to see if people were actually interested in building a school. And so I'm going to tell you about the pilot literacy program that I did in 2011 and some of the plans for the school that the women would like to build. So going back to why I went, I need to smell and breathe and just integrate myself into the culture to really, really understand it. I conducted personal interviews with just girls on the street. Hey, what's going on? What are your hopes and dreams? And they would tell me, and I would actually leave the voice recorder with the girls or whoever I was interviewing, and I'd say, talk and say whatever you want for 3 minutes, and I'm just going to go over here. And there was a crowd, so we had to push everyone away. But they would talk, and I have these secrets that I have not told anyone because it's their personal secrets, but it really helped me conceive this project. Those little 3-minute bits of, oh, one day I want to be, or it was too bad I did this, or I'm so sad that this happened in my life. And I just got some really, really special information that supports this project. So that was doing research. So this project is all about working to elicit change rather than impose it, to facilitate development rather than tell people what to do. I really like yoga, so when I was there in 2011 doing the literacy course, I woke up at 6 a.m. every day, and with the boys we did some yoga. They were so cute. They're very, very serious. Breathe in, breathe out. It was awesome. So we're going to talk about the education context worldwide, just a brief overview, and then I'll get into specifically about my experience doing the pilot literacy course and then the steps moving forward. So worldwide, education is a basic human right. There are 796 million illiterate adults worldwide. The most important part of this figure is that 2/3 of them are women. 69 million children are out of school worldwide. And this is just some statistics that support education for economic development and socioeconomic development. For example, if a child born to a mother who can read is 50% more likely to survive past 5. Even each additional year of schooling raises GDP in a country. So it just proves that education can lead to socioeconomic development. This is contested, but this is my in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, it is the least developed nation on earth. Like what? Past Haiti, past Sudan, past Afghanistan. Let's see. Fertility rates are rising. So it's just a very different and very special place. So now we're going to get into specifics, because I have not been to the whole Congo, I've just been to the eastern part. The town of Kichanga. These are just some images from the town. Just to get an idea, this Rwanda is right here, and the Congo is right here. So just so you get an idea. Let's see. On the top, this one, these are pictures of boys at a gas station who looked at me for 3 minutes while I was filming them, and I have a couple pictures of the boy with the same face. This is an Mbuti woman, which is the native pygmy population, and this is one of the only trucks going from the main city of Goma to this rural town of Kichanga. It takes about 5 hours to get from the main city to this small town, and these trucks are overloaded, they turn over all the time. You see carcasses of trucks just strewn across the one dirt winding path. So it can be a little scary. But I was safe in a vehicle with 3 members from the Congolese NGO. And they cared for me, they helped translate into the 2 other local languages. I was working in French and Swahili, but there are other small languages that they helped translate. We put a flag in the SUV, waving down all the way. And it was so wonderful to see the hills as I went by and think about my last visit. While they were yelling and talking really loudly over the engine, I was just kind of listening to, it was wonderful. So we're going to, hey Sarah, go back into the town of Kichanga. So now we're going to talk about the pilot literacy course in 2011. I I was welcomed, so this is just kind of an example of how warm this town is. I got there, and these women from last year that I recognized, they were holding their babies and nursing, and they brought this little goat to me, and it was just this cute little goat, and I had to pet the little goat, and they looked pleased, and then they took the goat outside. I mean, we took a picture with the goat, took the goat outside, and I heard this, and it was goat for dinner. So a goat is something that you give as a wedding gift, for example. It's a very large gift, and they sacrificed a goat to welcome me to their town, and I ate it. It was so good. So this is one of the main roads in Kichanga. This is the boutique, just a very normal, very typical of the town. This is one of the largest problems of the town is the huge influx of refugees. There are 2 large camps surrounding Kichanga. And so it's very unorganized. It's one of the places where people seek refuge from civil war in the rest of the country. So while the Eastern Congo is officially very dangerous, this is kind of almost a hamlet and a haven for people to come and settle. So it's stable enough for people to want to develop, but it has not developed. So precarious living conditions coupled with few employment opportunities in internally displaced persons